don't understand because I've now watched it and I'm barely in it. But I was so stressed out. I've still got the sinus infection from it. I've finally started taking antibiotics that I've never taken in my life. I had a cold, I had a sinus infection. I think Jody had a chest infection maybe. We were all just exhausted because we were having to do kind of our normal schedule at the studio and then drive out back and forth to these faraway locations, and that stuff always takes a really long time. And then we were shooting until like 9, 10 p.m. and then starting at 6 the next day, and it was just really, really, really full on. And they were trying to get it done in our last 2 weeks of the year, which was a lot. So yeah, it was just really full on. And I'm kind of like, I don't know how Rob Mills did it because he said he was in 150 scenes.
Oh, wow.
Time in a couple of weeks. I wasn't in that much, and I was like,
he was doing like 30, 40 scenes a week or something at a minimum. So that's pretty crazy. But the audience response has been so strong. Everyone's loved what he did with the role, which is so great. And I'm hoping I'll probably have a chat with him later this week for everybody else to tune into, and we'll talk about it more there. But this week there's a bit happening. David kind of feels quite bad about the whole situation, feels like he should have picked up on something. Although Takaya, the actor, thought that David was okay because he was in hospital and almost died through most of that. So he had a lot of other things going on, I feel like he's got an excuse.
Yeah, cut David some slack, guys.
David takes it very personally, and you guys will see that on screen. What about for Dipi, Shaz?
So Dipi was, I would have loved to have gone to that bloody island. It looked like a lot of fun, and there was a lot of drama as well. And also I really wanted to be, because Dipi and Gary is very close on the show, I really wanted to be around him a bit more before he had his untimely death. And that was crazy because I remember, like, we can talk about what happened, can't we?
Yeah. I mean, it's aired, so if you missed it.
So I remember when this whole idea of Endgame came about, and as you might know from people's stories and stuff, we were going to call it Fire Island, but then bushfires happened in Australia, and it was just really not appropriate and not sensitive to what was happening. And they asked us what we should call it or whatever. And the idea of
funny that it was called Fire Island, and they changed it because of the bushfires, and then we changed it to Endgame, and now everyone's saying with coronavirus, they're like, this is Endgame, and I'm like, oh god, we can't
win. 2020's been a shit year. Let's just write it off. It's just like nothing. You can't. But when we were talking about it, and the idea was floating about this dystopian type version of Neighbours or whatever, it's just so exciting. And when I remember read the thing about how Gary died with a bloody bow and arrow, like that is epitome of soapy world. Like you just couldn't. I remember telling, like as it was coming out, guess how Gary died. Get it? And nobody could guess how that happened. Before he left, he did tell Dipi to look after the pigeons, so that probably should have been a sign. Very random thing to say. I suppose we were hanging out with the pigeons quite a bit. But yeah, no, I didn't get to do that. But what I did do in the 35th week, because we were filming that sort of stuff at the same time, was 2 weddings. So I was Jane bridesmaid for her wedding to Des, which was beautiful, and then I was part of Sky and Lana's wedding, because Sky is related to us, and this is what people keep asking me all the time, like, how come you guys are so familiar? It's because the Timmonsons are related to the Rebecchis, so we were related through marriage. And I remember saying during that time, I was like, why are we so supportive of Lana, where she's literally just left Dylan, who is our actual cousin? But I suppose when families marry to each other, you're close to both partners. So yeah, we supported her the whole way through, and I loved working with Bridget, who played Lana. She was lovely as well. So we were kind of doing that, and obviously, and also Shane and Dipi were coming off of this whole like the biggest drama in their marriage so far with the Roxy thing, and secrets being kept from each other, whatever. So I actually thought we were going to be one of the weddings in that week. Like, I wanted to renew vows, and I know a lot of fans were saying that as well, but I'm not sure why we didn't do that. So yeah, I was a part of that. But now you will see me deal with the ramifications of Gary dying, and the fact that Shane has never ever been supportive of that relationship and how that affects me going forward. So that's kind of where Dipi's at.
Yeah, some interesting things, I think, that are going to be explored. So everyone who's watching, check it out. See it this week. Although...
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't ask me because I don't remember what I do this week.
Hello, and thank you for watching this takTalks clip. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. If you want to see the full conversation, click here. If you want to see all of the takTalk clips, click here. And if you want to see all of the takTalk conversations, click here.